All right, clamp, clamp, clamp. An exciting episode. We're talking woodworking tip of the day, clamps. They're not exciting. It's absolutely not the first tool that you think about when you want to start woodworking, but it's essentially ask any woodworker, how many clamps do you have? And they'll say, you can never have enough clamps. Well, that is true. But there are certain clamps you can get by without having. I'm going to show you some of my clamps, and I have some out right now that I'll show you. But it's not an exciting discussion, but it's a necessary one if you're getting into woodworking, or if you are a woodworker and you want to expand on your collection of clamps. I have a fetish for clamps, but we'll go through it and I'll show you some of mine. Here we go. Right down here, I got some laid out. These clamps right here, when you want to start getting to the hobby of woodworking, you want to buy some basic clamps. These are your basic, everyday, general, multi-functional clamps. I don't know, these are relatively cheap in terms of clamps anyway. They can get pretty expensive, but this one's about, I don't know, $20-something. But it's heavy duty. It's made by Craftsman. I don't even know if they make this style anymore because they change their designs every day. It just seems like they're getting cheaper and cheaper, but this is a good overall everyday use type of clamp. It's got, you know, a nice little one finger action, cam action right there, spring loaded, and it's got a quick release right there, and it's got let me bring it down here, it's got a fairly large size capacity, whatever you're clamping. But these are nice because it's got that nice rubber feet on them where it doesn't mire wood. So these are good everyday clamps, multi-purpose. I would definitely recommend getting a couple of these. They have smaller sizes. This is made by Irwin. This is a little more better quality. You can buy these at your woodworking stores. The quick grips, the same type of functionality, just a smaller clamp. I have these little guys right here that I love. I use these all the time for smaller items that I want to glue up. Right there, I got a bunch of these. And let's see here, the staple in every woodworking shop, you got the Jorgensen woodworking clamp right there. These are great because you can actually clamp these to a surface and then clamp whatever you're working on, you know, as a woodworking device. So these are really good. Get a couple of these. These are nice, and I have a bunch of those, and I got different sizes. I got this little guy right there that I use a lot for smaller items. Clamps, basically, you know, they're like a third, you know, a second pair of hands, basically, as you know. And when you're trying to work on something, and you know, trying to glue something together or screw something together, and it's falling apart, and you want to throw it up against the wall, well, don't do that. Just buy a clamp. These guys right here, Bessie clamps, I love these. These are a little higher end clamp, a little more expensive. They come in an array of different sizes and colors and all that, but these are very well made. Some of them have different throats, different distance from the bar to the actual clamping device. Here's another one I have right here. Same company that makes them, Bessie. And I got a bunch of them over there. And there you go. Then I have some more of the general all-purpose clamps over there, and I got some cheap clamps right there that I use. Right there. And those clamps right there, I use those when I build cabinets. But you can, you know, obviously use them for whatever purpose you need them for. But those are great for right angle glue-ups, or, you know, when you're screwing something up. Meaning, you know, when you're putting a screw in, you can use those. It keeps everything at an exact right angle. So those are really good. These band clamps that I have, these are awesome when you're gluing up irregular shaped pieces. You know, it comes with these little right angle corner braces right there. It's good to have at least one of those. I got a little more specialty clamps right here. This is actually, these are fairly expensive, believe it or not. A lot of instrument makers use these because they don't apply a lot of pressure. It doesn't mar up the wood, especially when you're gluing up soft woods. These usually, they come in different sizes too, but what's good about these is you can get in there. Let me see if I can get there. I can't even do it. You can open these up, and you can actually, like say if you're gluing a bridge on an acoustic guitar or something, you can actually put this in the hole and have enough reach to hold down your bridge while you're gluing it to your acoustic guitar. These are a little more specialty clamps. I use those. I don't use those that much, but when I need them, they're there. I got some cheap. Here's a 3-point type system clamp made by Bessie. These are good. Again, these are a little more higher end clamps. They're going to cost you a bit more, hurt you a little bit more in the pocket. But if you need them, you know, buy one at a time. You don't need to spend $150 on clamps. And by the way, when you spend $150 on clamps, you may get 4 clamps. So I got some more general purpose woodworking clamps over there. And I got some more woodworking clamps here. These are, again, I use these are pipe clamps right there. You can buy just a clamping system and then buy whatever length pipe you need. That's 3/4 inch black pipe. I got some more over there and more down there. These are good clamps made by Pony. These are definitely higher end. These are probably, I'm going to say $35 to $40 a piece, depending on what size you buy. I got some pretty good, decent sized ones there. I use these to when I make cabinets. Well, you know, if you're gluing up panels, edge gluing panels or whatever, those are good to use. Those are higher end clamps, so if you need these, you definitely want to buy only what you need and then just add to your collection. And down here I have more clamps. Let's see, I got a lot of the F-style smaller clamps that these are relatively cheap. You can pick these up for like $3 or $4, I'm guessing. And they're really useful when you're doing a lot of clamp up work. I got probably about like 200 of those. These are good. These are good for gluing up like trim work. It's got a 3-point clamping system right there. If let's say you're gluing up some trim on a cabinet or something, those are really good. I got a bunch of those. And here, let's see here, I got more of these F-style clamps. I got a bunch of these. These are really inexpensive. You can buy like a bag of these in different sizes for like, I don't know, $9. The spring clamps. And these are good little hobby F-style clamps right there. I got a bunch of those. And then I got the C clamps. You can buy different sizes. These come in handy. Although they, you know, because of these are good for like metal work if you're, you know, welding something. But you can definitely add, you know, glue or hot glue some wooden culls, they call them, you know, and so you don't mar up your wood. Okay, and I got a bunch of little different sizes, you know, and over here, look at this little guy, little spring hand clamp. They come in handy. These little guys, they come in handy. So I got a bunch of those. Okay. Let's see what else we have in here. I got a bunch of little clamps in here. So I have quite a few. That was just, you know, some that I put out for you. But, you know, you don't want to go out buying a lot of clamps at first. You know, you just buy what you need. You don't want to spend a lot of money on clamps. You know, the amount of tools that you have should not, in cost, outweigh what you're doing for a project. If you're just making a little birdhouse, you don't need to have 50 clamps. You know, maybe just one clamp. Like I said, buy these guys right here. These, let me see if I can find them. These guys right here, these are all-purpose, relatively cheap. Maybe, you know, maybe 2 or 3 of these, you know, will you know, get you going. And you know, for the rest of it, just buy as you need. You don't need to be spending, you know, hundreds of dollars on clamps when you don't need them. You know, so I just have a collection of clamps because I'm a freak and I have a fetish about clamps. But you know, so just add to your collection. Buy these guys. Anyway, not exciting, but really helpful. Have fun. Clamps.